Made me lie too.
Yeah.
Does it work?
No.
Woo!
Look at them dimes.
Absolutely killer.
Dad's humor. Ha ha ha. Like my mama's family.
Oh,
Mama.
Make it count.
nice and shiny.
Lose stability.
What is that?
Hey, girl. Whoa. Woo! Spectacle. Dolly on a stick.
Oh yeah. Y'all ready for this? Dun dun.
Extra sweet.
Surely.
He's after you.
We don't know what this means.
Oh, wow.
Okay, woo!
You gotta check your rear end. Mama's old hip. Yeah.
You got gas? Too legit to quit.
What's the world coming to?
Oh, Lord, now? Go big or go home. Looks awesome.
And we put pond water in it.
Scared me to death.
Okay. Look at all these babies. Oh, yeah. Gross. Welcome back to the Sleeper Dude channel. We're back with our 63 Falcon Futura here. You may not recognize it from below, but this is it. We've done a lot of work under here. In this video, we got some metal work to do. I'm planning on doing subframe connectors, doing a mini tub on the car. Also got to make my floor pan to cover up where I cut out the floors for the 4-link setup. We put it in the last videos. We're also going to try to get it running in this video. It needs to be plumbed and wired and all that, so hopefully we can get all that done. If you're not familiar with the car, it's got a built 5.0 out of a 94, 95 Mustang. It's got a T5 in it. It's also got a 4.9-inch rear end under it with a 4-link setup. We're trying to build a serious autocross car, try to compete this year at Ford Fest, and it is coming up very soon.
You mean actually compete this year? Yeah,
exactly. I think I'm going to start out with the subframe connectors here. I've never put subframe connectors on any of my cars. I went 6s and the 8th without them. I actually went 5s and the 8th without them. But this car, because we're doing a lot of like twisting on the curves, we want to make it as rigid as possible. We have some prefabricated subframe connectors here. Now these are actually for a 64 or 5 Falcon, but they look like they're going to fit. So they basically tie into our torque blocks here in the mirror right in front of our 4-link bracket. And this is supposed to go inside that frame rail. So we're going to have to cut this out right here to recess it into there. Also going to have to notch this right here where the seat bracket is.
I was wondering how it went in.
Yeah, it goes. You could weld it to the top of it, honestly, but you know, I want to tuck it up in there as much as possible. We've also got some new hoops and casings ordered for it. Hopefully they will be here in the next couple of days. Maybe we can get them on the car because I think you're going to absolutely love them.
I know I do.
Well, let's get to cutting and grinding and welding. Look, Scooter got his hair cut. You look so much different. You look so different, buddy.
It looks like his white hair.
Usually you can't see his eyes like that.
I like him better like
You're so handsome.
He's so funny looking. I love him like that. He's so happy. He's so proud, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks so happy.
There you go. That should give us room to do what we need to do right there. Well, we need to clean off around here because we're going to weld all these edges. So let me mark them and we'll grind them off. I believe this is all galvanized metal as well. We're going to perimeter weld it all the way around the edges here. I want to go ahead and mark the other side too, and we'll just clean it all off at the same time. Oh, I wish it was a marker.
You're terrible.
I'm not terrible. Mimi says I'm wonderful.
Made me lie too.
That's tragic. This drill string which has an offset on this, which pushes this up and down, which pulls the hammer up and down, which goes. Yeah.
Does it work?
No, because it's all messed up right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm about to get it worked.
Oh, Lord.
Right there is where it needs to be. I'm gonna have to get a floor jack. I need to pay attention to the door gaps too. It's being a hardtop car, it may flex a little bit. It's still got a gap, doesn't it? That's better, but it's not great. Door gap looks good.
Ah, my belt came off. It worked every time until you come here.
I think we got it there. I'm gonna tack this thing in place. Ralphie's gonna burn in there now for us.
Oh, it's wedged.
What did you do? Wall is going to get these wheel tubs ready to go back in. So this is the stock tubs. What we're basically doing when you mini tub something is we're adding to the tub here in the center. The way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna weld this back into the frame, and then whatever gap it is, we're just gonna fill it up with metal. This has spot welds all down through here, you see them?
Yeah.
So probably the easiest way to do this would be for you to clean it on this side with the wire wheel. The spot welds will show up. See the spot weld?
Okay.
You can kind of see them, but we need to get this down to bare metal because I got a weld.
Look at them dimes.
Oh, you got some knives on there. Good job, Ralphie.
Guys, one thing I've learned with building project cars like this Falcon project we're working on is it always costs more than you think it's going to cost, like a lot of things in life. You know, maybe you've built a project car and pulled out the old credit card to pay the bill when it went over budget. You know, it's not very hard to go into debt. It's a little harder to get out of debt. And today's sponsor, PDS Debt, can help you get out of debt quicker, save you a bunch of money on all those high interest loans, and get it paid off in a fraction of the time. PDS Debt will work with anybody that has at least $10,000 in debt. There's no minimum credit score required. Fair and bad credit is accepted. And maybe you got into debt and it wasn't even your fault. Maybe you had a medical emergency. I mean, maybe you didn't have health insurance. That's one of the biggest reasons people go into debt today. And when you have a bunch of debt like that, it's super stressful. You get behind on payments. You feel like you're drowning. You're not making any progress. I know for me, when I was younger, during the housing market crisis, I had a house that wouldn't sell and we needed a bigger home because we had had 3 kids in 3 years, and I was trying to make 2 house payments and it was a mess, and it's just not any fun to be in debt and be all stressed out. PDS Debt strives to understand your specific scenario and can help provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free. PDS Debt has customized options for anybody struggling with credit card debt, collections, personal loans, and medical bills. So stop waiting and start saving. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/sleeperdude. It only takes 30 seconds at pdsdebt.com/sleeperdude. That's pdsdebt.com/sleeperdude. Big thank you to PDS Debt for helping us out and sponsoring this video. Now go check them out and let's get back to work on this Falcon.
Well, hello there. Hi. Sweet.
This is a 3/8 drill bit. It's a little bit big. When I worked in the body shop, we used a 5/16, probably because it's an older car. I want you to center it up on the spot welds and then drill right to the center of them, okay?
Okay.
See, if you drill that weld out, it'll split right apart there, beef jerky.
Look at Granny, she coming in. Oh, you better get in there, Gran. Murphy has got somebody's drink. He's now got the lid off of it.
Well, we got them welded in there. Ralphie did the easier stuff to reach, and I did the more challenging ones to reach in there. I like how it fits everywhere except for these outside edges. See how the gap's too wide there? I mean, it was weldable, but it was wider than I wanted it to be. It must be because this is for a 64.5. This is like everything else. A lot of people make parts for a car kind of like this, but it seems to be hard to find parts for this car. So everything's welded in there. That should tie it all together. I feel so legit right now. It's unbelievable because I've never had subframe connectors on anything I've ever done. If I had $1 for every time somebody's been like, you need subframe connectors, you can rip the car in half. I've had cars that wheelied, cars that did lots of things, made lots of power, and I've never had a problem with not having subframe connectors. But I think on a car like this where you're wanting the stiffest chassis possible to do autocross, this is definitely a good idea for sure. One nice thing too is these lower bar brackets hang down quite a bit on the car, you can see. And that kind of gives it a ramp to get to there, so it's not gonna like knock the bracket off a car. At least it'll like, you know, skid on past it maybe. But everything on this car hangs about the same level, like the oil pan, the transmission, the headers. This is the lowest point on the car right there. Has she found a nibble or something?
They're doing something, messing. Look at it, scratching.
She thinks there's something underneath that wheel tub. So does he. Well, after a bunch of hammering and dollying and grinding, I think we've got the wheel tubs ready to fit back in there. So you can see they got a lot of spot welds through here. Use the old panel splitter here to split them back apart, and then I use the air hammer as well. The air hammer is fast, but the air hammer can like rip through stuff. So I've got to test fit these, but I can already tell our cross member under here is overhanging about 1 inch because this guy is trimmed to fit, so we're about to trim it to fit. I got some torch blades here. That's gotta work, right? There we go. I'll help you. All right, let's switch sides.
Okay.
Five speed, everything now.
Can you mash the gears?
What do you think? The clutch ain't hooked up yet.
I was gonna say, I can't
It's a soft clutch, isn't it?
it ain't working good.
See, it used to be automatic. Now it's
Oh man, this be much
5
better.
speed.
Oh, I can see it now going to Ford Fest and Mimi ripping
Oh,
it around
yeah,
the
Mimi
autocross.
ripping it. Hey,
I
she
might
drove
rip
them,
it.
haven't you?
You got that right. I like it.
She also got in a fight at the round track, just saying.
That's right. Don't mess with me.
After a ton of grinding and stuff, I think we got all this done. This undercoat in here is super thick, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was rough.
She finally got her all ground down there. I want to see how much wider this is in stock. Oh, we gotta roll the lip too, don't we?
Oh yeah, it looks wider.
It's hitting something up there.
Oh, it's your trunk mount.
The bracket.
Yeah, the bracket's hitting the other bracket.
This gives you an idea right here. Look how much wider the front is. That's wider than I thought it'd be. That's probably at least 3 inches right there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's not going to be that far all the way around. It looks like towards the back, it's quite a bit less. And we'll get right back on this mini tub tomorrow.
What? A scooter. Oh. Man, you're so good looking, boy.
310 to Yuma tonight. The new one.
I will sit down and army to find you in the middle of the darkest.
Well, good morning. I'm out here early. I believe it's hitting on this cross member here. You see how it's kind of rocking back and forth right about here? So I think I'm going to have to grind a little bit off of that cross member. Let me run a screw in this and we'll look at it from the top. We're going through 3 layers of frame rail here. See, once you get these plug welds welded up, pull that screw out and weld that little tiny hole up and you're good to go. I got it at the right height up here at the top where it's even. You can see there's a gap here and it's sitting against it right there. So I'm going to shave a little off the top of this, probably about the amount of that gap in the back, so that this will fit up better and sit up more straight too. It looks like it's because this is embossed here. Is that the word? Embossed. You can see there, now it fits a lot nicer up against that. The tub is straight up and down now. This is where we're closest right here to rubbing. Is gonna be right in here and the same place on that side. So we're gonna roll that lip. And this, I'm gonna change the shape. So originally it came around this way. I'm planning on pushing that against the frame rail and welding it, which as you can tell distorts the tub. So we're gonna have to probably pie cut this somehow. I'm gonna go ahead and mark where this intersects at here. and get it ready to weld, because right now it's painted. We don't want to do that. We've actually got some old seam sealer in here I gotta get out. Definitely don't want that with your weld. One really nice thing about screwing these things in place is you can put them back exactly where they were. You see those two holes there? And that way you know it's exactly where you had it before. I think I'm gonna start the process of welding these in. I'm gonna plug welding this in the center, and then I've gotta work on these ends, figuring out how to do this. You can see we're widening it much more in the front than we are anywhere else. But that's because the way this frame rail is, if you look, the frame rail goes in at the front and out at the back. So we're gonna be gaining more there than anywhere. But right here is where the casing intersects, is here and here. So this is very important spots, because we got like over 13 inches here, but we don't, especially back here. I got all that welded in there. As you can tell here, it's welded to the cross member on the inside. You can see where I pie cut it here. So we're adding 3 inches right here, which is gonna be crucial. We're actually adding 5 inches right here. And I decided to put this little piece of like angle iron in here because we have to get access to this bolt. I prefer for it to be from the bottom. So I put that in there to block this off so stuff won't come up behind the wheel tub into the car. So that should help out there. We can take this bolt and nut out without any issues. I made this little piece here and screwed it in before I started messing with these corners, because I knew it was gonna flex all this. So I screwed that in place to hold it. So you can see we're only adding about 1.5 inches at the top center, but much more down here. Now we've just got to make a pattern to do this strip down the center. I think I'm gonna try to make a pattern for this out of paper. I'm gonna tape it to it and kind of mark out the width on it. You can kind of see through this thing, which makes it handy. So I'm gonna probably overlap it about 1 inch on each side. I felt like I wouldn't do a good job of guessing at it. I'm trying to follow my squiggly line here. I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of metal before I get to the floor. I thought I could do these strips with a smaller piece of metal I've got, but it wasn't long enough. This is a tool right here that if you've never owned one, you should probably get one if you're gonna do much sheet metal work. So this side punches holes, this side makes flanges. And it will save you a ton of time. Don't have to use drill bits and all that. I'm just gonna punch a hole like every 3 inches. I never measure stuff like this out because I feel like you can spend all day doing that. Nobody will know where you put them anyway. Much quicker that is than drilling a hole. I'm gonna screw this thing down every few screw holes. We'll take the screws out one by one as we weld near them. Let's weld this band in here, get some fat casings under it. Don't do that. I got a little bit of welding done, and then they told me that the hoops and casings were here. Well, 4 hoops, 2 casings are here. We have got to get these out and see if they fit. Right, Murphy?
I know, quicker.
So, what we have here is some Steely boys.
Woo!
Some big Steely boys.
I
So
like the big.
these are 18 by 9s, and these are 255/35 18s. You can see this is Kenda brand, and these are US wheel. I got all this stuff from Summit Racing. Part numbers in the description if you want to get some for yourself. I wasn't gonna run 9s at every corner, but the 8-inch option had the wrong back spacing for what I needed. So the 9s were actually a better fit. These are 18 by 9 with 5 1/4 inch back spacing. They just have like this much more back spacing than they do have front spacing. Hopefully they fit.
How much do they weigh?
They're significant.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I didn't understand.
They're definitely heavier than aluminum, but I think when we get it all done, you'll really like how they look.
It'd be cool if they ran those from factory, like that big.
Yeah.
Oh, you seriously could have like 1 inch wider on the back.
Really?
Don't tell him that.
Come here, look. And it clears your brakes really good. Look,
Oh yeah, we got quite a bit of room.
that's probably good. We need that. We don't need to go any bigger.
I thought about going with 10s, and I was afraid that 10s was going to be like too much.
We still have room to roll the lips. So probably...
Yeah, we're going to roll the lip for sure. So that's probably what, 1.5 inches, I would think. And we probably got an inch or so on that side. It's not sitting at rod height right now, so that may have a small effect on it, but that's pretty much where it's going to be right there. So we could have never ever fit this without mini tubbing it, because it had a bracket on the frame that was like this big with a bump stop, and this welded out here like another 1.5 inches, 2 inches out. So
It looks good with the quick performance badge in the middle.
yeah, let me show you the center caps.
Whoa.
We got them. And we're
Those
planning on painting these white. I really wish it took factory caps, but they don't. But I have a plan for that eventually. So eventually I would like to get it to that. So use a factory center cap on it eventually. Tucking?
Oh yeah, she's tucked.
Still looks good.
Not hitting nothing?
No?
Okay. It's every bit of all you can fit, maybe and then some. It's right up against the bump stop. I think we're gonna be all right. It is like even with the outside of the fender
And
here.
you got its casing that sticks out.
Well, this fender's kind of one good anyway, so my idea was to kind of roll the lip, maybe stretch on that fender a little bit. So
I think it would look better, like farther out.
it's been hit in right there on this one. I think it's gonna look absolutely killer when we
It's
get
gonna
there.
be so good.
I cannot wait. Man, I love how it tucks that rear one like that. Oh, it's so good. It kind of looks like an old NASCAR car, even though it's bigger than what NASCAR would have run. Like some of the look I was going for is like, I always like those old NASCAR cars where they had the steelies that were like whatever, 10s all the way around on the car. It should give us all kinds of grip with it being that big. Now y'all have a job to do.
What?
You get to paint these
Hey, and we go down the mountain?
after we paint them.
Should we
No,
not?
we
Well,
paint
if
them.
we scratch them in the process,
No,
it
it's
wouldn't
just-
matter. And we can
No,
just tape up
no.
the... Oh.
You gotta paint the bead and everything. You don't want rust being in the bead and all that. Check out these cans they got there.
Whoa, oh my world.
Look at those bad boys,
I call it,
huh?
oh my
That's
god.
space.
That is wild.
That's serious, huh? You never had nothing like that.
That is so crazy.
I've never used one of these cans. I get what's it called?
how are you
Turbo can?
How are you
Turbo.
supposed to hold
Hold
on
on
to
to
this?
this. We're using the red Scotch Brite because it's the roughest one.
There is junk coming up.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of all that.
Is sanding pretty easy?
Yeah.
Obviously, these are bare. They actually sell them in white and black, but the white ones right now are out of stock. That's why I didn't get ones that are already white. Could have got black. Maybe should have. Might would have been easier. Part of the reason why I went with 18s, if you go with a hoop that big, it can get past the ball joint up top, so it allows you to run a wider hoop if you run a 18. Anything smaller than that, you got to run a more narrow hoop. I've always wanted big steelies like this. I've always run steelies on all my cars that I drag raced just because I wanted that like sleeper look, but I always wanted like 18 or 20 inch steelies, and yeah, I'm excited about these. 18s all look pretty big on this car.
I got some brake cleaner here, and I'm gonna spray it on spin towel, wipe it down. Okay, so I did it like 3 times off camera. Okay, so we're using this self-etching primer for bare steel, and he's moving his wagon because even if the wind blows, it's still ain't gonna hit it that much, but he's worried about it. We're gonna slow these down. Hey, whoa! Got a head start.
This ain't a race. It ain't a race.
Oh, it's great. Innovation, I can sit it up straight.
There you
It'll
go.
spray good. Surely dry by now. Drier than Dad's humor. Ha ha ha! Yeah, that was a good one.
think we got it all edge primed good now. It says to wait 30 minutes, then we can sand again with a Scotch-Brite and be ready to top coat it white. Right, Marge?
Yep.
Because of me splitting this and stuff, I'm gonna have to hammer and dolly this back flat. I've got all that band welded now, except for right here. You wanna have a dolly on the back side if you want to get it a certain shape. Check out them dimes, Ralphie.
Yeah.
So obviously we got a little too much metal here. I'm going to try to heat it up and shrink it is what I'm gonna try to do instead of cutting another split in it. We'll see if this works. I got it, hammer.
You need a man camera.
Try to get it red hot. It's like forging, Ralphie. It didn't turn out as nice and pretty as I hoped, but now we can weld this gap up, which is nice.
So it's been 30 minutes and we've got the Scotch-Brites back. And we're gonna sand these down so we can paint them. Because you don't wanna just go straight to it, or else it ain't gonna turn out good. Turn out like my mama's family. Not good.
Don't sand it off, just scuff it up, huh?
Yeah, stuff it up. You can see the difference in how it looks.
I've never used one of these cans, so I don't know how it's gonna spray. It has the oddest tip on it. Look at that. We'll see how this goes. I think you stay back a little farther. I don't know.
Oh
Oh,
my lord.
whoa. Okay. Wow.
That's incredible.
That is a huge pattern. Oh, we're gonna have
It's
to
like
be
a
really
paint
easy
gun.
with this, or we're gonna run it. That's crazy.
I thought we bought this before. It's like a paint gun.
It's like $17 a can.
That ain't even worth it. They expire.
That does paint like a paint gun.
That's insane. That's a go-getter. You ain't kidding.
You could really mess something up quick with that. I mean, you let Marge with this?
She's done
Hey,
for.
you need to already be moving when you hit it. Because if you stay still, you're gonna run it.
Okay. You ready? Oh no. Yeah, we gotta. Oh yeah. I can get used to this. I'm just gonna be like flying about here.
That's crazy. It don't take no time, does it?
Nice.
Hey, look. I feel like incredible than this.
When did they invent this?
I don't know.
Me and Marge didn't know about this.
This is definitely new.
Ooh.
Just don't coat the same place twice. You could really paint with that, couldn't you?
Yeah. If I ever paint a car, I might have to do that.
Yeah. Typical me, I'm gonna flip them while they're still wet. You know, we ain't never gonna see the backside anyway. It'll be covered in brake dust. I just wanted to make sure they weren't gonna rust, you know?
Make it count.
Yes, we can't mess up the front, guys. That's quick, isn't it?
So quick. Easy.
That's good. Let's just let that dry for a second.
Okay.
Well, this is the third coat. I was really worried about it, so I'm doing the last coat here. We're just about out, so 2 cans did do all of them front and back. Well, they look pretty good, don't they?
Yeah. It looks like a paint gun.
Nice and shiny. As much as I would love to start mounting up some casings, I really don't want to peel the paint off these either, so we're going to let these things dry. It says 24 hours.
Overnight.
Exactly.
Did you say track prep?
It is like the track, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been noticing lately, your knees are always like brown.
Yeah, like every
Hey, whoa, watch out my paint, bro. Back up. Don't get that knee crust into my paint, okay? I don't want no knee crust in my paint, bro. I've got this wheel tub here fully welded in now. I was welding here and there when there wasn't so many paint fumes around. I think I'm going to go ahead before I go to the other side and roll this lip we've been talking about for ages. The flat areas we should be good, but I think we'll probably just split it once or twice here and a few times over here. You definitely don't want to cut this lip off because then your quarter panel is no longer attached to your wheel tub.
Yeah, the loosability.
Exactly, loosability. This is a door skinning hammer. It's what you use to fold the lip around the door. We may actually crack some of the primer here, but I'm not worried in the least.
What is that? What?
It's a door skinning hammer. It's what I just said.
Oh, that's great.
So you don't want to fold one spot all at once. You want to kind of work your way around, fold it all a little bit, and go around 2 or 3 more times. Once I get it folded over with the straight end, then I use the curved end. There we go. We got a nice smooth lip now. That probably gave us another 1/2 inch or so. We can go forward without it rubbing. It's not fun when it rubs, is it, Marge?
Nope.
I need to weld the trunk brace back to the tub on the inside. That's right. Obviously, this is moved in like an inch or so here. So we're going to have to reattach this brace so our trunk doesn't flop all over the place. It looks like it's going to have to be about a 6-inch long, 2-inch, like a 6 by 2 inch piece of metal. Should be able to slide it right in there, weld it to this, weld it to that. Because I can't bring this in. If I do, then when the hinge comes down, it's going to hit this.
What happened to my handle right here, huh?
Oh, I don't know. Mom may have used it. I'm not sure.
Mom holds the camera.
Ralphie, wasn't this like a 8-foot long piece of metal or something?
No, we had to. I used on this. I just forgot about that.
Look at his seat. That's what it went to.
I forgot.
So I have enough for one of these. It's exactly 6 by 2, if you can believe that. He's been making letter openers a lot. A lot of letter openers got cut out of this stuff.
Bread slicers?
Yes. Try to tack it to all the corners here so it doesn't move. I think we're done with this side. It's like seam sealing it and painting it, but that's after we get all the metal work done. You approve of that?
Yeah.
What I'll do is go later, maybe with the plasma cutter and then belt sander, and smooth that out to the curve it's supposed to be. But that'll give us a lot more bracing here because that was flopping in the wind there. Well, Marge, it only took me all day to do one.
I know.
Now I got another one to do over here, just like it.
A lot like work, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Hey, girl. Whoa, that was a big jump. What are you doing, huh? What are you doing, you little spoiled baby? She gets to go see Granny sometimes outside, and most of the time she lives in the house.
How is?
Wears a little diaper around the house. There's your mom out there. At least this one fit up a little better. Screw this thing in, get started. We got a seam here that we can line up by, this little bead that's rolled into it. So stuff like that's real helpful.
Are you buck wild? Huh? Yeah, you're buck wild, I know it. Whoa! Get it, girl! Woo! You are something else. Come on! Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness!
That's gonna have to be tomorrow, guys. It's already late, and we don't weld late at night.
Shoe up.
Wow, she's fast. Wow! I didn't know she was that fast.
She's hilarious.
She's faster than Wall.
Well, apparently I painted my feet tonight. Hang them high tonight.
The good Lord takes care of those that do his work.
Early the next morning, we had to go get some steel. We only lost 2 pieces of sheet metal in the middle of the intersection. Had to get out. It wasn't embarrassing at all.
No, not at all.
I really couldn't believe it fell out anyway. Too bad we weren't videoing. There's more stuff that happens off camera that's funny, I think, than there is on camera. But if you're gonna get sheet metal, get it at a place that sells like metal in bulk, because if you go to like Tractor Supply or something like that and get it, it's like 10 times more expensive. So a 10 foot by 4 foot piece, which is huge, is $70. So doing all this work with the wheel tubs and patching the floor, we may have $5 or $10 in sheet metal. So yeah, you can mini tub your car for like 10 bucks. It's not that bad if you do all the work yourself. Now that we have enough metal to do what we need to do, let's get right back on this. Same thing, just the other side. It's ball time around here. She was no help welding at all. Look at her wag her tail. Y'all would have been cracked up if you saw me and Mom today getting that metal. It didn't fall out of the truck once in the middle of the road, but twice.
Wow. Those big sheets. Those big sheets.
10-foot long sheets.
In the middle of the road.
We had them in there like that with the tailgate up. There wasn't 18 inches out the back of the bed of the truck. And we're like, it'll be fine. I don't know how, but twice they came out the back going down the road. We had a hazard light right in the middle of the intersection.
Cars stop, we stop and track and
Yeah,
everything.
spectacle.
Yes, it's probably on video.
Somebody, it's probably posted already out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I had to end up strapping them in, which for Tasha's family is like unheard of. I did get this side done. It just took most of the day to do it. I reckon our wheel tubs are done. I got our little offset brace welded in, welded her solid to this, which makes me feel a lot better because I didn't feel like comfortable with this crossmember not being welded in the middle with the weight of the car on it. But you can see there how much extra space we got. Pretty happy how it turned out. Eventually we'll be smoothing all these welds out and making it schmooze, you know. All I've got to do now is roll the lip here. I didn't get that done yet. I went ahead and cut it, but I didn't roll it yet. One tool I'll say that was a real big help is the old dolly on a stick. And if you're not a body tech, you may not know what that is, but I used it to square off these corners because this was completely round here, you know? And like I would weld here and then beat this thing in the corner with a hammer back here, and that completely squared off, and it has like a nice rounded edge right there. So it worked really nice for doing the metal work in the corners like that. That's a tool I would recommend if you're doing a lot of stuff like that. What do you think, Wall?
Yeah, looks good.
Look, no lip anymore.
No.
I'm talking. No lip. Get it? Pretty good one. We're still waiting on our other two casings. They should be here in the next couple days, and I really don't think I want to mount them up until I get all of them here. I'm also worried about scratching the paint. The longer it dries, the better. We've actually made a list of all the things we need to do. It's like this long. The yellow things are things that we have to do to actually start the engine. The whole list really has to be done before we can actually drive it. We have no brakes or anything, you know, right now. We're going through our stuff here. We actually got a box in from Summit yesterday evening. Check out summitracing.com. They were a huge help with this project. I'm super excited to be able to work with them. It's like a lifelong goal of mine, or a dream of mine. I've been using them for 20 something years. I've got a straight shifter stick, I guess you'd say. It's a Hurst one. I like it.
Short.
Yeah, the other one was curved, if you remember in the last video. We curved it to the front to miss the console. And it's really too far out there. Like, it's uncomfortable. So I wanted a straight one that said Hurst on it. And we got our awesome shifter knob. Show them, Ralphie. Look at that racing stripe shifter knob. I love it. I think I'm going to work on the floor while they're working on this stuff. There's a lot of little things we got to do.
Here, Wall.
Oh, gosh.
Our new shifter. If we did it like this, it would work. Ow! That hurts so bad.
I'm trying to decide how to do these floors. I've had thoughts of just going flat all the way across, just covering this up. I think I'm going to do it in two pieces though. I want to leave as much floor space as we possibly can for the seat. So my plan is to come straight out to this point and then follow this slope down. I also need to patch up some of this floor that I didn't patch in the last video. You can see it's rusted out right there under the seat. This car must have been leaking at some point, so I'm probably going to patch that up too. Probably going to be a separate piece though. It's about 16 inches wide, something like that.
Where's that, yeah?
I am going to put the ignition coil in while Ralph is working on the shifter.
Okay, so now...
I found a chunk that was 17 inches this way. I'm just going to leave it full length there. Cut this thing off. If you ever want to buy anything at Eastwood, use code JOSH10. You're going to get 10% off.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It's better, isn't it?
Way better.
Looks good.
That does look so much
Yeah, it
better. It
feels
looks
way
correct for the car. I think that matches the console with that chrome on there.
Okay. I think I want to do the fan. And now we gotta show you what fan we got. Y'all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
Is it thin enough?
Definitely thin enough. Definitely.
So this is the fan we had. They're actually both spout fans. You can see the thickness difference there.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, there was no chance of it fitting. Even though this has a higher CFM rating, this is the exact same diameter, same brand.
Okay. Butter on there.
Wow. Look,
Is it gonna fit?
it's hitting the bolt. Hey, Daddy.
You
Well,
might want to
maybe-
come take a
maybe-
gander.
No. It would work. Oh. It may have 4,000 of clearance.
Is that close?
On the very middle, it may have 4,000. Oh, well, once it got past the slip, actually, you can't go any farther.
Let me see for a second. Yeah, that worked.
Barely.
It ain't got 4,000. Look at that. It's got a quarter of an
Listen,
inch.
I was up on the slip and I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this literally fits the core perfectly. I mean, a quarter of an inch is enough.
Okay. I want to take the old gauges out now.
Oh, dang it. I forgot to put the little thing on.
Little cushion thing?
Maybe I can cut it.
That only goes where the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did forget.
Maybe I can cut it in the middle, put it over, and squish it on.
I'll accept that on the first one only. Okay? Sitting over here on his anvil.
Did you see right there?
Extra sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of extra sweet,
Where's my candy at? Don't steal that. That's a good one.
Lord, that is sweet. That's chewy.
Okay, so I'll put a little slice in it. And split it over there and then push it against the radiator where I need it. There we go. That'll work. That's solid, son.
I marked a line at 4 inches over. I'm gonna put it in the brake here and kind of give it an angle. I did not check what angle that should be. I'm just winging it here. Try that first. Think that's right?
Yep. Oh, that's weird.
Now I've got to make a curve on this to match that floor.
Get in here and pull it through. Okay, there we go. It's mounted. Fan done. Boom.
So right there, I just need to trim some off of here and probably off this corner. Well, if I trim this corner, that may actually fix this corner.
What in the world?
1.89 liters.
Why is it still connected?
One way to mark stuff like this is get like a set distance away from your edge and then just follow the edge with a marker like I did right there. Not super scientific, but it might work. Look at that wall.
Beautiful.
If I make some holes, we can weld that in. I'll just have to make a piece for right there, basically, won't I?
Yeah.
Here's our overflow, and it's a recirculating one, which recirculates stuff. When it cools down, the water comes back out and back up into the radiator. But we have an intake system that has to have a spot right there, so we're mounting this down low. So now I've marked my holes, and now I'm going to drill them out to 1/4 inch.
Trying to mark on the floor here where we can and can't plug weld. Basically, these areas are where we can plug weld.
And what you do, water it out.
Well, come here. Make sure it's flat against it. Pull the trigger. Let's do one up here kind of in the corner. Ooh, slow down. There.
So I'm gonna wire brush this, get it clean enough so we can paint it.
I was taking this out, I was doing everything normal, and it breaks off in there. So I want to use this ease out right here and get this thing out of here.
is
It's
it?
like trying to twist a lot. No, it's not.
It's just chewing the aluminum up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever used one of these on aluminum before. It may just chew it up instead of actually grabbing.
Why don't we try to hit it in more?
Yeah, it's not. That's not gonna do it. We're gonna have to drill and tap it, unfortunately. This is where our 4-link bracket is. I'm going to drill some holes in here to plug weld on that as well. So I'm taping up this hole so we don't get a bunch of shavings down in the radiator. Ralphie got me a 5/16 drill bit, which is what it says we need for an 1/8 inch pipe thread tap. It was aluminum fitting in an aluminum radiator, and whenever they threw that in there in places unknown, it probably just galled up. You gotta love to drill into a radiator. I can't believe Ralphie's broke my brand new radiator.
I didn't do nothing.
Okay, I think we got good threads now. All of our weld spots appear to match up.
We got our hose clamp on here. It goes on the short one. I'm gonna tighten it up before it gets down there because you like can't.
The way I like to do some of these curves, if you see there's a little bit of a gap there, is I'll weld right next to it, and preferably while it's still hot, I'll beat it down to where it matches that curve. And I'll also usually hold it down with a hammer until I get it welded. Now I don't let it go until it's cooled off just a little bit. You don't want to let go while it's still red. There you go, see, now it's got the curve it needs.
There we go. Installed.
All right, I think I got that welded in there. Obviously, I got to fill in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to go straight down. I'll probably wait until I get this side done. We may just do something all together there. I dare say that's probably going to strengthen this up because it's welded straight to that. Dimes, if I do say so myself. So now I've just got to copy that on this side, and then we got to do this patch over here.
That's good. Cool.
What do you think about there?
Yeah.
Looks like it fits.
Surely.
What are you doing this evening?
I think it's welded in there. It feels really solid. I don't think I'm going to do any more welding tonight because it's getting really late. I know it seems like I've worked on this for like 10 minutes today, but it's actually been like an entire day. Just
Again.
really time consuming what we're doing right now. I'm really thinking I may just bring that same height across there. I guess you could have done it in one piece if you were like a metal magician or something. Me and Ralph are going to work on the anvil a little bit. He wants to do a little repairs on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sure.
He loves to play with Ralphie.
Slow it down.
Can you outrun him? Oh, he's after you. He's after you. Just like Granny.
Merchandise available at thesleeperdude.com, like our new stickers we just released, keychains, hats. Hey, it's getting to be colder. What about a hoodie, huh? Get you one. We got t-shirts. We got the kids' artwork when it's in stock. Go check it out at thesleeperdude.com. We really appreciate your support. Check out our second channel at Sleeper Dude 2, third channel at Sleeper Dude Armed, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sleeper Dude 88. Good morning. Well, we got that anvil fixed last night. Ralphie was really worried about that. He has all these projects going on. He's really into metalworking right now. As badly as I want to move on to engine things, I've got to fix this floor first. I'm going to get to cutting some metal, welding some junk in so I can get done with this. We can seam seal and paint all this stuff. Well, after several hours, I got all that done. Decided to make this way. I think it looks better, even though it's under the back seat. Definitely looks like we have plenty of room for our back seat, unless I'm totally wrong. Don't judge me on this little patch here, okay? I made this thinking it was going to cover that. Got the measurement off a little bit, obviously, and had a little hole I had to patch, but welded all into that, because that's where your seatbelt bolts on this one. You could even see the water line under here. You see it? Where this thing was full of water at one point. Yeah, that corner was in really bad shape. I struggled with having good metal to weld to. I stitched it along the edges a lot trying to fix that, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I think that's all the metal work I'm going to do. I think we're going to go ahead now and prime and seam seal and paint all this. Well, we got a little bit of a buffet here on what we're going to use. I've got several different cans of self-etching primer. I don't know how we use half of them and put them back on the shelf, really. Anywhere that we're going to put seam sealer, I'm going to put self-etching primer. I may actually self-etch primer every piece of bare metal, but I for sure am going to on the gaps where I'm going to seam seal it, because in my experience, even if a seam sealer says it can go on bare metal, a lot of times after you paint it and everything, you know, the sealer will shrink. I've seen a bunch of times the metal end up rusting underneath the sealer and then it just peels right off. So I always prime before I seal. I've got this single part seam sealer here. It's for automotive stuff. And then we're going to use some semi-gloss black. Everything as far as the floor paint goes, and I'm going to use some undercoating in the wheel tubs. So we've already wire brushed this and everything. This is our self-etching primer. So self-etching primer is made to go on bare metal surfaces. Now that that's dried, we're going to seam seal this. I really like the 2-part sealer better, but it is quite a bit more expensive than this. This will stay soft and it's paintable in under 30 minutes, whatever that means. This will keep all our moisture out. So I like to take a Bondo spreader and just try to push it into the seam like this. Some people use like a brush to do this. I've never liked using a brush. I always use a spreader. Some people are so picky about things like this. Like, it's nice to work on a car that's just yours. You don't have to worry about if the customer's gonna be mad. 9 out of 10 people don't care at all what their seam sealer looks like. And then you'll get one customer that just like hates the way you did it and you have to dig it all out and redo it. Yeah, that covers up a lot right there. Between this and the undercoating, they'll never know. Now on these, we're gonna use undercoating. I like to use undercoating like on the bottom of floors and in the wheel tubs and stuff like that. This stuff will get all over you. So definitely don't wanna be under it when you're spraying it. It's like stains you. It's not like normal paint. So this gives it like a textured coat. It's basically the same thing they would have put on this from the factory. It's very different than paint though. It's much thicker, much more textured and rubbery. It helps seal it and it also gives it a good surface to deal with like rocks and stuff like that. And just like that, it's all painted and undercoated and the whole rear axle's been taken out. I took that out by myself today, bro.
Wow. You can't even tell that you fixed the floor, besides the big thing in the middle of it.
Thank you. Most all of this got undercoating except for where we welded in the new 4-link brackets and stuff. I really didn't want to undercoat them just in case we had to do something later with them. Ralphie's been working on his anvil today.
On one edge. The other edge, we still have to do more welding.
Let me lower it down and show you the top. Look how beautiful the top looks. So very professional, right, Ralphie?
Yeah.
I see guys that do sheet metal work like on Instagram and they do so much detail and stuff about it. My point of view is, yes, you want to do it right, but like whether or not there's dimple dies underneath your floor,
Maybe if it's on the outside.
just get the car done, man. Drive the car. I'm not all that worried about what this looks like because it's underneath the floor, it's underneath the seat. I seam sealed the wheel tubs and I actually undercoated the wheel tubs, but not the floor. This is all spray paint here and there. So I like it. I like how it turned out. Not perfect, but it looks good. The only thing I think I've got left to paint is this. I just welded these back strap braces on that we forgot to weld up in the last videos. This thing, I think I'm gonna clean it real quick with brake cleaner. And I think I'm just gonna brush paint it so I don't get that aluminum chunk all nasty and the brakes all nasty. I didn't wanna have to take the rear end back out, but there's only one way to get all this stuff painted under here, especially around those 4-link brackets. and above the rear end. The only way to do that right was to pull the rear end. And that's something I'm kind of a stickler about, is it doesn't have to look perfect, but it's got to be corrosion proof, because I saw so many cars in the body shop where they came back with rust issues because guys didn't seam seal them or paint them right, you know?
Yeah.
A little behind the scenes, I normally don't come out here and work. I'm usually inside editing while the kids are at school for the most part, or ordering parts or whatever, making trips to town to get parts. With the tight timeline on this, I'm having to come out here during the day and work. Kind of like last year, we did that with the Gremlin. We worked 13 days straight. I mean, we can't have a rear axle this nice and not paint it, Ralphie.
Yeah.
I know we usually don't paint stuff like this. Shout out to Quick Performance, huh?
Yeah.
Very nice rear axle. I might use a Sweet Patina Blackout on it. As you can tell, I've had it a while. Used it on several projects. It does a really good job of sticking. It stuck the lid down that. If you go to sweetpatina.com and use code SleeperDude, you're gonna get 5% off your order. That's glossy, isn't it?
Glossy.
This way it's protected. We won't tell Squeezy that you used her paintbrush. We got that painted like a kindergartner.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let us drive tonight. We got music practice. We got church. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Shoot up.
Time for a press face against wall time. We don't know what this means.
Well, good morning. Look how nice and shiny that is, huh? Me and Marge are gonna try to get this rear end back under that car. It's just us here right now. We'll see how this goes. If we could put a harness on Granny, she could like tug it up through there, huh? Slowly. Okay. You just make sure it doesn't fall off there.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay, we're gonna try to use the transmission jack. Man, I'm missing all the little helpers right about now.
I know.
Ooh. So it's gotta roll my way. We don't need to push it off the lift thing. Woo-hoo. I was looking this morning, this car ran a 52 at Ford Fest with the stock stuff. You tell me what to do.
Okay.
I've been doing it for years.
Oh, yeah. Keep going. Okay, whoa. Oh, back here. Whoa. Okay, whoa. Don't move.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
works.
push it.
Oh,
Push it a little bit more.
Now I've got the delicate task of torquing everything to spec here. Got my handy dandy torque wrench. I'm gonna torque these things I can reach up top, then get it up to ride height and torque everything at ride height. Right, Granny? These coilover bolts torque to 60 foot-pounds and these big 4-link bolts are 75. Well, I got everything torqued now. I let the rear axle back down. I absolutely love this fuel plug here. Never had one with one of those. Quick Performance recommends putting ADW90 GL-5 in it, so that's what I'm gonna run. Most of the time I've been working with wore out stuff and I put like ADW140 in it. I really like doing like fluid maintenance stuff on cars. Once I get this in here, we'll be done with the rear axle, I believe, aside from the brakes. Guys, you gotta check your rear end. Nobody's gonna check it for you. I swear I do this every time. I should only buy the small balls. I buy the big ones because it's cheaper by the ounce. But then I spill all the ounces I saved, I believe, right here on the floor. I'm just gonna have to start buying the little bottles, I guess, because I cannot fill them up without spilling it everywhere. Now I can finally start installing things that might actually make this thing run. So I'm gonna set the gas tank back in here. Looks a lot better in here with the black paint. Okay. I'm gonna use my Mercury Comet gas cap I saved off the other Falcon I sold. Oh, look at that.
Cool.
I like how it looks. So that's from a Mercury Comet. I decided to change sizes on the rear. I was originally gonna go with 255-35s all the way around. The other two were back ordered, so I switched to a 265-35 because those were in stock. They're supposed to be here today, according to United Parcel Smashers. I'm gonna continue working on the fuel system. I might as well while I'm under here. So I've got some 3/8 aluminum line. I've seen guys make like rollers where you just roll this off the roll and it's perfectly straight when you get done. I don't have one of those. I need to make one or something. This way we won't have a rubber fuel line the length of the car. I'm super limited here because if I put it right here, I'm afraid the control arm could come up and hit it. So I think I'm gonna go outside of the frame rail to here and then drill a hole in this and come out through this hole right here and down the inside of the rocker lip to the back axle. Pull it straight there, Marjorie. Can we thread the needle here? Of course we can. So this is a bigger fuel line than what this car would have had from the factory. Most everything had 5/16 or maybe even 1/4 inch if it was really puny. This is 3/8. I didn't want to put it on the inside of the frame and be right up against the headers. You don't want your gasoline and your exhaust headers touching. Not a good idea. And this should be out of the way of everything because there's a lip wider than the fuel line on the frame rail. This is one of the reasons why I went carbureted with this one. No ignition box or anything. I just wanted to build something really simple. Like, seems like everything I built lately was fuel injected, and I love fuel injection, and I actually do like complicated builds like that. But I wanted something that was just super simple to hook up. Just run a rubber fuel line to it, and you're good to go. Mechanical pump. I just wanted it to be as basic as possible. So I got an inline fuel filter here on the inlet side of the pump. Now mechanical pumps can pull a whole lot better than they can push. This will be down out of sight here, where it'll be real hard to change if we ever need to. Should be perfect. I'm just bending all this with my hands. Nothing special here. Trying to make some of these curves. Now we got to figure out how to get back to the rear end. Now I could just rubber line it from here, but I really don't want to. I guess I'm gonna have to go straight up this frame rail here. I like to use these cutters like this instead of like a cutoff wheel because it don't make all the junk that goes inside there, you know? You don't want dirt in your fuel system. I'm estimating this is about the right length to reach the gas tank. Something like that right there. Well, guys, I wish I could take credit for this one, but I just can't. So these are 5/16 hold downs here. And I was like, man, I'm all out of the 1/2 inch ones and these 5/16 are too small. Marge was like, just peel them bad boys open and put 2 screws in them and they'll fit. So that's what we did.
You're welcome.
And we were just knocking it out today. I guess I'm gonna do the heater hoses. I was wondering in the last video where these heater hoses go. One of them comes from the water pump there, the other one comes into the intake. So that was the fitting I was missing. So I'm putting a fitting in here now. You gotta have heat, you know? Don't want piggies getting cold. I thought one of these was 5/8 and the other one was 3/4, but it looks like they're the same size. Yeah, I think they're both 5/8. Check out these old school clamps that were under the dash. I was really afraid about the heater core being super brittle like Mama's old hip, but it seemed like it was pretty strong still. This is really nice on the old L4. I'll be back at choir practice. I wish I had a really tight 90-degree fitting, but I don't think I do here. Hadn't found it if I do. Hopefully the heater core won't start leaking now. All right, heater hose is done. I want to move on to the gauges now. The ones that were in here stopped working. Like the oil pressure one quit working. I don't think any of them work now that I think about it. They were like the cheapest electric sending units. So these are actual auto gauge brand. And I like the chrome and white face. I like the classic style on it. These are all mechanical gauges. I trust them way more. Especially if you're using a cheaper brand. I like to use mechanical, not electric. So we know the valves on this thing. We don't want to start it and not know what's going on. Well, we have a convenient hole here in the firewall. I'm just gonna run this guy down the intake. This is gonna go right down into our water jacket in the front of our intake. Try to make it as neat looking as I can. We don't want to make it look like my wife's family did or nothing. That's all there is to hooking up the water temp gauge. So this kit came with a plastic line for the oil pressure gauge, but we've been there last year. We about ruined the engine with that. I keep the copper stuff in stock here now. And it's gonna screw in right here. There's an oil pressure fitting right there by the fuel pump. And these are a compression fitting, so you only got one shot at this, so you better get it right. It goes in here, and when it tightens down, it crushes it into the hose, so you gotta get it right the first time. I got some of that Teflon tape on here that's made for petroleum products. And really, if we wire it, we're about ready to fire this thing. The old 3-gauge combo, man. No telling how many of these have been installed in cars. It's my go-to, I know that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this old radio out. Somebody's already cut the dash to fit a radio, and this thing's like 20 pounds. I ain't never listened to the radio in this car. It ain't got on speakers even. Is it a factory one or not, guys? Look, it's got somebody's name on it. That says Ford on it, doesn't it? I have to save it back, but it must have had an aftermarket one at some point because somebody drilled some holes. Oh, look who it is. Oh man, our casings came in. Whoa, bro, don't hit Wall's car. That's what we've been waiting on right there. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Those are steamrollers, ain't they? Yeah. So these are 265-35s. These are even bigger. Can you believe it? Hey, baby, you been good? These are gonna go on the back. The 255s are gonna go on the front. It's basically the same. I think it's only like, you know, a third of an inch or something different. Slightly taller, slightly wider. The 35 is the aspect ratio. So you can't just say a 35 series is this tall. It depends on how wide it is. The wider the casing is, the taller it is, even though it may have the same 35 series or 40 or 45 series or whatever. We gotta get them mounted up, bruh.
Oh, I got you. Woo!
Murphy, you haven't been down here all day. Now that Ellie's down here, you show up. Okay, what's going on? Why are you doing this? You're falling. We're bolting in the valve stems here. A lot of like racing things you have to do, you're supposed to have a bolt-in valve stem. Well, these are directional, so this is gonna go towards the front. So we're gonna have to make sure we mount them correctly, or we're gonna have one backwards. And everybody's gonna make fun of us. Any chance at this, you think?
You want any help or no? Oh my gosh.
Really?
You must be in diggings.
Hold this right here in the beak. But I gotta go to the right.
Put like your knee on it.
Don't worry about that. Pull yours out, Ralph.
No.
What?
It's not.
It came out?
Yeah.
This ain't gonna work. If there's any chance of us doing it, we gotta get below this bead on this side. We gotta get down into here. Come on. Woo! There went all our progress. I mean, I've mounted these on like a traditional casing machine, but never on something like this. Well, I really thought we could mount them up here. That short sidewall is getting us. We don't want to scratch them all pieces. We'll let the professionals put them on, and they'll charge me like $100 to do it. It's ridiculous.
So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the coolant system. We're gonna use water just in case we have any leaks. We may, who knows. Hopefully not.
Marge is going right now to get gas for us because I didn't want to run 87. I want to run 93 in this thing.
So I'm gonna drill the holes for this battery box, and I'm trying to do them in the flat spots. Alright. You got gas?
Got no gas in it. Yeah, I got gas.
I knew it.
You said 87, right?
Stop it.
Ow.
So we got them in there. We'll just have to wire in the lights and the volt gauge when we get that far. Yeah, 93 is expensive now. Over $4 a gallon. I don't want to run that cheap stuff in here because, you know, she's a hog leg, right?
Yeah.
So this Summit battery box kit comes with the battery cable. This one will go straight down to the frame and ground there. This guy obviously will go all the way up to the front of the car to the starter. But it even comes with grommets, Marge.
Wow.
Yeah. The grommet's so legitimate.
Too legit to quit.
It goes right through that like butter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like to leave the cables long enough so it can go to either side. 'Cause, you know, different batteries go to different sides. Ooh. It's a shame to knock off that brand new paint.
That's what I was thinking.
We might can use this as a ground strap for the engine or something. If I'm careful, I can use this to just strip this back. Like that right there. It came with the cable ends as well. Oop. Get your strands in there. Hey,
Ready?
No, I don't think I am ready, really.
Hey, I'll wedge this one. You ready?
Yeah, give it to it. That's so scary. Give it one more. Oh.
Does it change at all? Now.
I I didn't see it, but I'm gonna use some bigger hold down straps for this because I'll probably end up running wires through here for certain things. Trying to work here. We have taped a TIG rod to this to see if we can fish it through this hole I made here. Oh, I felt it. All right.
There you go. Come on.
Hey, we made it. I just didn't want to run it by the headers once again, so we just made our own holes. Since this has like a factory mini style starter instead of the old school Ford starters that had a solenoid on the firewall, it looks like we should be able to go straight to this starter with the battery cable, which is the way I like to do it, so it gets all the amps. And we'll run another wire off there to the alternator so it can get charged that way as well.
Ah!
She bite you?
She went down.
Oh.
I was like, what
Freaks
was
me out
that?
every time.
Oh, your fingers are cooked.
They better not be. Go. I'm gonna go over our steering stuff here. Try to keep it out of the way of everything, away from the header. So I got my charging cable here, about half the size of the battery cable. A lot of people will go undersized on a charging cable. It's very important to get the right size cables for the amp load you're dealing with. So you need a big wire. Go for it, Wall. Not my fingers, but the silver part, okay?
I don't have good aim with hammers.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
that was close.
I'm telling you, it's
Okay.
a bad idea.
I'm gonna get my fingers out of the way. So hit,
All right,
slam it
you
on
ready?
that silver part. Yeah. Hey, there you go. Get it one more time like that. Good job. That was actually a factory charging cable off something I probably brought from work. I saved everything like that. Should have good power and stuff. See this little spade terminal here? That's what we send power to actually start the engine. Ralphie wanted to see the shock tower brace here. So we're adjusting it. That's one of the big things I like about this one is it's adjustable. Slow down, slow down. Mine's slower than yours. This thing bolts through the firewall in here. We gotta drill some holes into it. Let's go straight through the firewall. Ralphie, do you want to get in there? This plate goes in there, and the washers and nuts and stuff, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Ow. Oh, yeah. There's something over here blocking me. Well, maybe that'll work. You ready?
Yeah.
You resting your face?
Well, that has been a 12-hour day out here in the shop working on this thing. We're getting super close. The main thing I gotta figure out is that wiring. So we will see you guys tomorrow for hopefully the final day of work on this thing before it runs. Good morning. All right, we're on our way to school. Daddy's gotta go get some casings mounted up. Maybe we can start it when you get home. Well, we got them dropped off. Hopefully they won't mess anything up. I told them no weights on the outside. You wouldn't think it'd take 2 seconds, but they said it might be a couple hours, so we'll see. I guess it's time for me to start doing this while I'm waiting on them casings to get mounted up. I'm really not sure what all's involved with this. It's probably gonna take a bunch of looking at the wiring diagram and tracing things down. I know you guys have seen me wire a lot of carts, so I'm not gonna bore you with the step-by-step on this. I'm just gonna set up a time-lapse camera, wire this whole cart, and I'll give you an overview when we're done. Got quite a bit of wiring done, but they just called and said our casings are ready, so we're gonna go get them. Well, only $132 later, they put the front bead on for me and balanced them. What's the world coming to with the prices of stuff, guys?
It's ridiculous.
Like, everything is so expensive anymore. I mean, I used to buy a whole set of casings at Pet Boys for that. Cheaper than that. They were 99 bucks. Anyway, that's ridiculous. I guess I'm gonna have to buy a casing machine or something.
Yeah, you might
I mean,
as
I
well.
could already bought one by now.
Right.
All right, let's get these things home. I have been at it all day I don't have everything wired, but I think I have enough to try to fire it at least. So let me explain this regulator situation. So our car is a 63, so it came with a generator from the factory. So this is a generator style voltage regulator, and it says ARM, which I believe stands for armature, FLD, which is field, and BAT, which is battery. So the field wire is a little small wire. It was unhooked already. I believe its purpose is to turn the generator on and off. So it wasn't even hooked up, so it didn't matter. The arm leg here, I didn't use any of the wires from it either. If you look down here, this is all the wires I cut out of the harness. So this is the wire that was going to the arm leg there, and it wasn't hooked up to anything either. But from the factory, this would have went to the generator. So that makes sense on why it wasn't used. But yeah, I cut all this stuff out of there. This is the factory charging wire. I basically simplified everything because it had legs that went off here to the horn relay. This car don't even have a horn on it, so I just deleted all that junk out. So basically the only wire I hooked up that was hooked up to this at all was the one that went to the battery side. On this car, it is a bright yellow wire. You can see it right here. It's the only heavy gauge bright yellow wire in the harness. From what I understand, that goes up under the dash to the fuse box and powers everything. So I hooked that up. So I think that's really all I have to do. This yellow and black wire went to the battery light on the dash, which I'm not using. This one came out, I believe, to the horn to turn the horn on. I was able to use the factory coil wire to power the coil. I checked it to make sure it had 12 volts when the key was on. So basically how this ignition system works is super simple. It's a Pertronix Igniter 3, so it has a built-in rev limiter that you can change the RPM on. It has two wires. The red wire goes to the positive side of the coil. You just have to have the correct ohm coil. And I just bought the Pertronix one. This is a 0.32 ohm one. Coming out of the positive side goes to a 12-volt power source, so I did that. The black one comes right out of the distributor to the coil. That's all you have to do. It's literally like a one-wire hookup. Now down here, I hooked up our fan on a relay. I haven't tested any of this. So what I decided to do was run a brand new power wire. It's a 10 gauge wire all the way from the battery straight up here to this power lug so I can power other things. The heavy red one goes to the fan relay. The heavy blue one goes out to the fan, and then I grounded the black wire on the fan. The way these relays work is it's high amperage in, high amperage out. I'll show you the pin out here on screen. That's the only thing that sees a lot of amps. The brown wire here is a really light load ground signal that can switch the relay on. That's how I've got it switched. So the brown wire goes up under the dash to a toggle switch, and then it's grounded up under the dash. When that toggle switch comes on, it sends a ground signal and kicks it on. The blue wire here on the far side, you could actually loop it over to the red wire, but I didn't think about it when I was doing it. Instead, I looped it over here. So it's constant power, power out to the fan, and switch ground. That's how that works. The blue wire coming off this power lug goes around. This ignition switch has always been weird. You guys know. It like, sometimes it starts the car, sometimes we had to touch wires together. So yeah. I decided to not put the starter on the ignition switch. So I put it on a push button under the dash. So this blue wire comes from this power source to the push button and back out to the starter. So I ran new wires to all our starter. I obviously will wrap all this up and tie it up later. I've still got to do my tack and my volt gauge. That's the only thing that I haven't done so far as wiring goes. Spent a lot of time just figuring out what I could cut out of the harness. I guess let's hook up the battery and try it.
Oh, Lord, now? Ready?
We need to see if it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My test light here. So let me try the push button starter. This should work anytime the battery's hooked up. Okay, that didn't work. Is it a battery connection?
I'm gonna say probably. Maybe a bad battery.
Okay, let's swap out batteries and see if that's it. I hope it's the battery. I hope I didn't do it wrong. This is a bigger boy here. Okay, apparently it was the battery. Alright, so the starter works. What about our electric fan? It gets power all the time. It's quiet. It's not that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Do our headlights still work?
Yeah.
Do we have headlights? Okay, maybe I did something right. I guess it's time to preload the motor and
Yes.
put plug wires on and stuff. Pull this guy up out of there. Oh, we haven't shown them the hoops mounted up, have we?
Mm-mm.
We gotta show everybody that. I didn't go ahead and put them on. I was like, I gotta wait for the kids.
Oh, those look good.
You like it?
Yeah.
This is a front
That
or back.
looks really
That's a rear there. So we gotta get them on. I mean, we can't just not put them on right now.
Oh, they're heavy.
They're
heavy.
They're well made. This is a right front. All right, put it where it goes.
These things look really good. It's gonna look good when it's painted.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to get them on there because.
Oh, it's gonna be hard. You think?
There's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of room this way, you know. I'm trying to get in there.
I'll get it lifted up. Oh wow.
Okay.
You get to like.
We're gonna have to air it down or something. There's not a lot of sidewall there to collapse.
That breeze got us, didn't it, Wall?
Yeah.
What do we need to do, bro?
You're so close. Maybe give it more angle this way. Like, do I need to get under there and pull it?
Is this gonna be this hard to get on there?
Better hope we don't have to change it on the side of the road.
Push. Push my way.
You're going, it's going. Go big or go home.
Like, push
No,
it down.
we could unhook the coilovers and lower it. I was hoping it would just go in there. Oh. Okay.
It looks good for just 3 more to go.
Well, the front two shouldn't be the problem.
Oh, okay, good.
The back's gonna be the hard ones. Look at that, huh?
Looking good though.
I love them.
It'll look even better when it's down on the ground.
So you got all the room it needs, Ralph?
Okay.
Oh, you got a 1/2 inch.
Get the biggest one, they said. It'll fit, they said.
Lord almighty.
Oh, wow.
That's
a
awful.
workout. I'm ready to set it down. I want to see the rod height. Now, this is the lowest rod height we can set it at.
That's slow. That's wow. Looking good. We still got room. Barely.
Give it a jounce here.
Yeah, that went back.
Oh, man.
That looks so good.
It looks great.
Oh, yeah. You got a finger
You
whip.
feel at the top?
You can fit your fingers through there, you're fine.
At the top, we got like 3 inches.
Look at this, Marge. Look at this incredible feeling in here. We got about a 1/2 inch right there. Okay, over here, we got about a 1/2 inch.
Oh my gosh.
I think it'll work.
Look how big they are.
Like right in the center up top is probably the tightest, but you got, once again, probably a 1/2 inch or so. I don't think I ever measured to see how tall of a casing you could fit. That looks so good on there.
does
Back
look
up
great.
and show them.
Well, get the front ones on there.
Let's do it, let's do it. These are right at 10 inches wide. I would say you couldn't have fit any more than a 7 on a factory one. I'm so glad to get these off here. Especially the other one, it's got like glue on it and everything. Hopefully this will fit. This is basically just as wide as the rear. It's 10 inches wide.
She's a big one.
The reason why we went with the 18 on the front is it gets you up over this ball joint, which allows you to go even bigger. So if you went with a 17, you run into that or you run into the outer tie rod. But 18 gets past it. That's why I picked this size. Look at that. Oh yeah, she's in there. A 10-inch wide front on a Falcon.
Unheard of.
That closeout panel with the bump stop on it, that is narrower than a stock one. So it gives you more room to go back. You don't have that big coil spring from the factory. You have a coil over, so it gives you more room going in. Oh, man.
Yeah, looks good. Crazy. Beautiful.
It's like a modern version of like the old NASCAR cars with the, or like a Trans Am car from back in the day.
Looks so good.
Did they peel a sticker off? Or was that you?
No, they didn't. Can you believe that?
Oh, we're about to burn
Don't they
that.
know how you get the sticker off?
Yeah, like, what are they doing?
This fender's hit right here, so I think we're going to probably have to get it back out where it belongs. I'm sure we'll have some clearance. And this has never been rolled either, so we'll see how it works out.
Wow. That's good. That's rubbing for sure.
That one's rubbing?
Yeah, that's definitely a rub.
We know this side's bent in. Let's go to the other side.
That's wild. Looks good though. Looks good for sure. Oh, that's got some clearance.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can fit
yeah.
your hand there.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I'll turn it and see how it works when I turn it. Are we good?
Yeah. Still got a hand clearance. I think we're good. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're good. We still got a finger clearance.
You say clearance?
Clearance.
That looks so mean.
It looks so good. I love it. Wow. I plan on painting the car, and it'll probably have some sort of blue and white paint scheme.
Yes, finally we can paint a blue car.
I thought about like a metallic blue, and this scallop be white.
Oh yeah.
To match the hoops on it. It's crazy that that fits. It's about this far from everything, front and rear. Like, it is literally the max that you would put on one of these cars.
Luckily you didn't go wider.
I know, I've seen a lot of guys, they flare these out real big, or they cut out the opening in the back and flare it. Like, they'll cut this out like the front is, and they'll flare it, but I really don't want to do that.
I wouldn't cut it. I may flare it. I would flare it probably though.
It's hard to flare it when you get a blade line right there.
Yeah.
I love this look. Love it. Absolutely love it.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
So,
those are really good.
these came from Summit Racing. We really appreciate their help with the channel. They look super awesome on there. So these are US wheel 18x9s, and they have 5 1/4 back spacing. So a 9-inch hoop is actually 10 inches wide to the outside edge. It's got just barely more back space. So it's like 4.75 to the front, 5.25 to the back. And those are 265/35 and 255/35.
Are we gonna put the hubcaps on it?
You want to see what they look like?
Yeah, we gotta do it.
Okay, let's try it. Will it fit over the studs?
Hopefully.
I love it.
That looks so good. That does look really good. Yeah.
That makes it more old school looking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, you can't even see the studs or the aftermarket axles or anything.
Good.
Let us know in the comments, caps or no caps for you?
Oh, caps.
Caps for me.
I think these are
See,
superior.
eventually I want to do that. It's a factory Falcon cap.
You just got your little hand marks on them, and they're supposed to be like
sorry.
perfect.
Sorry about it.
That's better.
Looks exactly like I thought
So good.
it would look. We got sidetracked. We got to get back to what we were doing. Trying to make this thing actually run. This is what we're going to prime the oiling system with. All it is a 1/4-inch drive, 6-point socket, and a 1/4-inch extension. I don't have a special Ford oil pump driver like I do for a Chevy. Ralphie, why don't you go watch the oil pressure gauge? Ooh, it just got oil. There you go.
80. That's like 85.
The gauge isn't leaking?
You know?
How much pressure is that?
75.
Going that slow at 75? Wow. So this is filling up our oil filter, circulating oil through all the passages. It's filtering dirty oil as it goes through, if there's any dirt. Nope, no leaks. It's got a roller cam, so I'm not super worried about initial brake in there, but that should be good enough. Ooh, see that drill smoking? Let her eat. So we gotta get this thing top dead center number 1 here in just a second. Just gotta make sure it's engaged with the oil pump drive shaft.
What's that smell?
It's that drill I burned up.
Oh.
Oh, right there. I'm gonna put my finger in this spark plug hole over here. More. More. Oh, right there. It's funny, there's a lot of heat generated from that. Right at 0. We were at maybe 5 degrees. So to get us as close as possible with our timing, I'm going to get it to like 20 degrees here. And we're gonna point it right there because the engine don't really start at 0 degrees. Our pointer is pointing right here, okay? Keep that in mind. We want this to be kind of in the center of its adjustment. So we got about that much room. If we line this one up right about there, that should be about where it should start at. So we're gonna call this our number 1 cylinder. We're gonna start with number 1 cylinder, and it's right there by the distributor. These are some 8.5mm Summit Racing plug wires. Now a 5.0 HO, it's a different firing order than a 302. Because Ford, I guess, right? If you have a 5.0 HO, it's the same as a 351 wind tube. If you have a regular 302 or a non-HO 302, they have a different firing order. So pay attention to that when you're doing it. All right, that's the last one there. Got everything in order, hopefully. These are made in the USA, look at that.
Okay.
I always forget to buy those holders that hold all the plug wires nice and straight. I know you can make them out of zip ties. I'll probably just buy some at the parts store or something. So it came with 2 coil wires, both of which don't work with my coil, because my coil is an innie, not an outie. So Ralphie found this plug wire here. It's the MSD that we had upstairs, so that's off some other kit that it didn't work for. So we're gonna use it until we can get one to match it. Okay, we should have an ignition system now. And timing it somewhat close. Yeah, it looks like a bird's nest, don't it? When we pulled her out of the Mustang, she did not run. It ran for 1 day in the Mustang. We beat the hell out of it without changing the oil, and we put pond water in it. I haven't got the throttle hooked up yet or anything like that, so I'm gonna have to work it by hand. Putting some fuel down in the bowls. This carburetor came off of the 64 Galaxy, I believe. It's a Holley double pumper, mechanical secondary electric choke. I did hook up the electric choke too.
I think it's been on a few things.
Yeah, it has been on a few engines. I hooked the electric choke up to some factory wire that was hid on this side of the motor that had power when you turn the key on. That's all I know. Let's see what she does. Okay, I got it out of gear. I have no clutch and no throttle. Why don't you hit the starter button while I work the throttle? Why did it slow down like that?
Battery?
I put a different battery on it.
The timing light only lit once in all the cranks.
Really?
Yeah.
It tried to fire once.
And it's on.
Try it again. Okay, something's up.
Yep.
Is 2 batteries dead? I'll put our little jump box here on it. It's in the yellow. What was the timing?
Oh my gosh, it's loud.
It's a little loud. It wasn't running that great right there.
I didn't see.
Scared me to death.
It hasn't pumped any fuel yet. We may need to put more fuel in the bowl. It ran at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Shoot, that's loud.
Well, we haven't had time to do the exhaust yet. Let me put some more fuel in it. Maybe it does have fuel on. What was it at? Above zero?
It was like, here's the mark and zero's over here. So, and it was zero's supposed to be on the other side, right?
Right, okay.
So it's like way off.
So it's firing after top dead center. We need to fire more before, so I gotta go that direction.
Now it may run better.
Should. Oh wait, we're pumping fuel now. You see the fuel filter's full?
I forgot it had a mechanical pump, so I didn't hear the
Pump kick on?
Yeah, and I was like, why is that?
Okay.
You may have went the wrong way.
Did I?
It looks even farther down.
Okay. You're probably right. Hey, you let me know if it gets near 12 degrees, okay? We've got the vacuum advance on hook, by the way. All right, try it again, Juan.
I think it's way too much.
Oh, we got a fuel leak. See it dripping right over there?
Oh, yeah.
Where's that leaking from?
I think it's running down from the top.
Is it from up here?
Yeah, I see it.
Coming down this?
Yeah, coming down the thing. That's what I thought you were talking about.
And that feels tight already. I don't know why that would be leaking. Looks like our fuel bowls are right where they're supposed to be, right in the center of the sight glass. I gotta get this timing nailed down. Woo! Try it again. We were somewhere way off. I don't know why our time will be off. It's still pouring fuel out. It's dripping fuel like crazy. So that stinks. Our fuel inlet deal there may be bad. The way it works, there's no like Teflon tape or anything. You always want a fuel soaked rag on top of your motor. We're letting the starter cool off for a minute. Putting this battery on the charger. I don't own a lot of great batteries.
They're expensive.
They're super expensive. We end up taking this guy off. I guess these flares here are just not smooth enough or something. I don't know why it wasn't sealing off. So I just got this homemade garbage here, and we're gonna try it and see if it works.
Homemade garbage. I think that was 50.
That's 50 degrees before top dead center. That means it's firing too early.
Why is it opening?
It's electric choke. It opens with
That's
electricity.
cool.
I move it this way, it should be less timing. All right, go again. Any idea on the timing there?
It's hard to tell when it's not even running.
More. Right there. Right about there should be like dead on. Doesn't look like we were 180 out or anything like that. Go again, Wall. The distributor cap's not even down, and it ran. Okay, and
Wow.
you weren't hooked up over here, were you?
No, it's never flashed.
Because I didn't hook it back up.
Here.
I'm such a mess right now. I didn't do nothing
Oh
right.
my gosh.
And it ran. Okay, it's running.
Yeah.
Good deal. Let me put the cap back on. That would help. Wad, did you look at the oil pressure?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, nada. That's mama's girl right there.
I'm sure it's probably fine.
Go for it. We may have to go one plug wire over because we're right against it. did it get up to? What's the temperature right now?
Like 150, 160.
Okay. It went down a little bit on temperature after we turned the fan on. So
How exciting.
I know, I was a little worried there at first because I was like, it's not wanting to start. So we're all the way against the heater hose on this side. So we're probably going to have to move all the plug wires over one and rotate it back that way because we need some adjustment to it. It'll probably run just fine there. Oh, we never did hook back up the vacuum advance after that. So it'll probably run even better there. Basically what we're doing there, we're setting our initial timing. So initial timing is the ignition timing without any mechanical advance and without any vacuum advance. You set your base timing, say at 10 degrees. We set ours at 12. It's basically a centrifugal advance. So as it spins faster, it has counterweights that sling out and that adjusts your timing. It's basically like turning your distributor at higher RPMs. Like right there, it was at 12 degrees. When I revved it, it was like at 35 degrees because this has 24 degrees of advance. So actually it's going to 36, which is right where I would like for it to be in the mid to high 30s. So it does that as RPM goes up. What if you're going really low RPM down the highway? You still need a bunch of ignition timing to get good fuel economy, right? And to run good. You don't want to run on 12 degrees. Well, that's where the vacuum advance comes in, and it adds timing with vacuum. So as you're going down the highway, you have like another 20-something degrees there. Basically, it puts it at like 30-something degrees everywhere but idle. And we've tuned with laptop. We know that's basically what you're doing on the laptop. Man, that is good to see. Not leaking.
Yeah. Has
good oil pressure. Not overheating. Not making any terrible noises.
That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Very good feeling. This car has been a 6-cylinder car its whole life, so it's never had any real power because 6-cylinders back then, they didn't make them for power back then. Nowadays they do. It's gonna be like almost 10 times the power of the motor we took out.
Wow.
So our other engine made like 37 horsepower and then it made like 42 or something.
Yeah, it was like 42, yeah.
43 the next year because we bumped the timing in her, you know, put a couple degrees in her. Man, I'm super happy with it. Hey, our homemade fuel line didn't leak.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy another fuel line. Is it too loud?
Yeah, it is really loud.
We're gonna get some mufflers on it. Guys, we have come so far with this car. It's crazy how much work we've done to it. Oh, wow. Murphy was way too close for that. Did you get it in your face?
I got it everywhere.
Yeah, did you shake it?
No!
Somebody shook it.
Pour one out for your homies.
No, Murphy.
No, Murphy.
There you go. This is a kind of a dream come true for me to have a project like this. I've always built drag cars. And I've always wanted a serious autocross car. I know I've talked about it, but it's a big deal to me to be able to do this. We could not have done it without help from our sponsors. Summit Racing was a huge part of this, and we really appreciate their help. Go check them out. Also, big thank you to Detroit Speed for their help in this build. American Powertrain as well. Quick Performance. That rear axle's awesome. I can't wait to drive this thing. There you go.
I can't wait to drive this thing.
Come on.
She's going to drive it now.
I want to drive it. Really good.
We appreciate everybody that watches the channel. Thank you so much for watching the channel. We'd just be making home videos if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you for everybody that comments, likes, subscribes, all that. We have a really loyal fan base, and we appreciate you guys. We're going to try to get this thing to Ford Fest, guys. Yay. That's the plan. It is upon us right now. If you don't know about Ford Fest, come to Holly Intergalactic Ford Fest at Beach Bend Park this September, just a few weeks away, on the 28th, right?
In Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Bowling Green, Kentucky. You won't be disappointed, okay?
So much going on.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Man, I've just been going at this car, guys. This is not the way we normally film, but we have ran out of time, and I'm trying to get it done in time to drive it for a couple days before I have to go to make sure everything's good, but I'm just glad that everything worked out good. We got a lot of little things to do. That's probably going to be the next video, guys. We're just going to hammer down this car. We've got to get it done. Trying to do all the other things it needs, not because they're easy.
Because they're hard.
Exactly. Trying to drive it for the first time, that's the plan. Hopefully all that works out. Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go, buddy. Here you go,
He's
buddy.
being so good.
You are so good sometimes. You can check out our website at thesleeperdude.com. We got t-shirts, hats, stickers, keychains, paintings, metal artwork sometimes, pencil drawings, maybe once every few months. Check out our second channel, Sleeper Dude 2. Check out our third channel,
ZZZ-30048
Sleeper Dude Arm. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
ZZZ-30048.
You were just early, that's all. All right, let's go see some baby goats.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey, port power. Woo. What'd you use that on?
Phone sniff, just like Granny.
She loves my phone.
That's looking good, son.
Look at all these babies. Look, they're just hopping around like bunnies over here. There. Oh, up the slide. Playground. Hey, Walkie.
Oh, they're getting big.
They are getting big. Georgia hit you.
Hey, calm down. Calm down.
Hey, baby. Oh, man.
He's got little nubs.
Oh, man, he does. Look at that. Granny's baby don't have no nubs yet.
Ready?
There you go, Granny. Oh, yeah. She already had a little bit of foam going, too. Yeah, it was nice. Brown, black, white, they're all mixed up.
I got him. And he's got nubs, too.
He does have little nubs. They're super cute out here. It's funny just to watch them. This is the brown and white group, apparently. Man, that'll call them in for miles right there. There she is. She must have been down at the pond.
Come here, come here, come here.
We don't even feed her anything, guys. She just eats the grass and the stuff in the field. Taking your life in your own hands there. Gross. This is her life. That no-shoe life.
Please fall. Oh. And remember, Jesus saves.
And Dollar General is every 7 miles.